Hi, it's Christina from the welltraveledwoman.com, and I'm here with my good friend Lisa, who has an incredible story to tell you. She's been on a crazy journey these past few years, and I just really wanted to tell people a little bit about your story and how you have grown and where you came from and where you are today.
Where do I even go with that one? It's been a long few years. A lot has happened.
Let's start with where you saw yourself just a few years ago at your lowest of your low.
My lowest, I was looking up assisted suicide online. I was in bed for 5 years in that much pain, had maxed out all of the possible narcotics I could, I'd had all the surgeries I could, and I was just done. I knew I wasn't done living, but I was done living that life. So I did make a decision that I would not end my life, but I would start killing off the parts of my life that weren't working for me, weren't serving me anymore. I have spent about 25 years in the Western medical system, 12 surgeries in 12 years. I know pain, I get pain. I spent years trying to mask it and not feel it, and when I decided to feel my pain is when things changed. Over 10 years ago was my first back fusion, low back fusion. They said degenerative discs. And then a year later they said failed back syndrome. So that stuck. I became that, whatever they told me. And then along with that comes all the other smaller diagnoses, myofascial pain syndrome, anxiety, depression. When I stopped working, I moved my kids and I in with my mom. And for 5 years, I stayed in bed and just let all of that, all the words they told me, I let them settle into my head, and I eventually believed it until I hit bottom, obviously decided that that's not the life for me. I don't want to be in bed. So I got back up, started traveling, and started getting inspired that I can heal myself. Came back when it was time for my second fusion. So did a second fusion and a revision from my first. That was about 3 years ago, and I've just been improving ever since.
And what were those parts that were not serving you anymore?
All the negative thoughts.
So you basically had this whole shift in perspective, this sort of transformational healing that happened for you by changing your thoughts.
That's all I changed. I changed my whole world, my whole life, with only the thoughts in my head.
So you basically, your back was hurting so bad that you couldn't even take care of yourself.
Correct. That was a scary point in my life too, to be in my mid-30s and need a caregiver. But also it's a great motivation today. I want to take care of myself. I don't want a caregiver. Therefore, I have to make healthier lifestyle choices.
And have some of those healthier lifestyle choices brought you to where you are today?
Absolutely. My eating habits were awful. Everything I was eating was causing chronic inflammation. So I cleaned up my diet. About 2 years ago, started a plant-based organic diet because I knew stem cells were coming. I didn't know that it was going to make my head feel so good. All I have to do is be better than the last time. I still slip. I still have my hard days. But every 24 hours, I hit the reset button. So I get up really early every morning, and everything that happened the prior day doesn't apply to this day. So I get to start over literally every single day. And all I have to do is progress. Physically, mentally, emotionally. It's probably the best gift I've given myself is that reset button, the ability to start over. It started not feeling like so much of a struggle. I started getting creative, finding new opportunities for myself. And then in the physical sense, I dropped a lot of weight, have a lot more energy now. That's physically what gets me moving. I feel like I have an army of support on Facebook. All kinds of men and women in my life that have supported me over the years.
And what does the future hold for you moving forward now that you've healed yourself through all this pain and trauma and struggle that you've kind of dug yourself out of? Where's next?
Ultimate goal is to see the whole world. So recently I thought A lot of successful people have the word consulting at the end of their name, and what that gives me is endless opportunities. So moment to moment has also been my trick. Neuroplasticity was one of those words that came up with my pain doctor and my physical therapist, who calls herself a quantum healer, which I love. And it is that our brain is, we can expand. We are not stuck. So moment to moment is what I've focused on over the years also. As I'm traveling, as I'm on my adventures, I intentionally stop, pause, take a picture of where I am, my current view, which gets me in the moment.
I totally love that, what you said about capturing the moments. Like my eyes, going around my day, they see little snapshots of like beauty or
Correct.
Perfection in nature, and you just stop and you want to appreciate it. And I'm like, oh, I wish my eyes could just take a picture of this right now.
Correct. I want to show the world that it's beautiful out there. There's so much beauty in the world, but I'm also rewiring my brain into this is a beautiful life. There are beautiful, good people out there, and I'm excited to help people. Yeah, and so my goal at this point is to just keep leveling up. It does feel like a video game. Everything that's hard, everything that frustrates me, I know it's a lesson. We get up every morning, we physically push it. I eat all organic at this point, plant-based food. A lot of meditation when I can, with babies and dogs around. A lot of stretching, any kind of physical activity. When I'm here in town, it's real easy for me to stay in bed, especially in the winter. So I do as many adventures as I can. Mm-hmm. In the last 4 years, I left the country, I think 9 times.
9 times.
My ultimate goal is to see the whole world,
Yay.
Experience everything, which means you have to accept the pain and the hardships. And that's kind of the toughest thing, I think, is in this society we are taught to cover up the pain at any expense with any kind of vice you can. Mm-hmm. And I'm just breaking away from that, getting rid of that dogma, and I choose to feel my pain. I think that's why I'm kind of leveling up in life. It's so much easier than I thought it was going to be. And as I'm posting my adventures and my story to Facebook, I'm finding that there's a lot of people out there like me that aren't real sure how to get started, that aren't even real sure they can change their life. Mm-hmm. So I get a lot of questions, a lot of messages about what do I do now.
How can people find out more about Lisa Michelle Consulting and what that is and how to support you in that?
On Facebook, and then hopefully word of mouth.
For now, people can get in touch with you via Facebook then.
Correct, yeah. I'm on Facebook, Lisa Michelle.
So I just wanted to thank Lisa one last time for sharing her story and for giving me a little moment, a little blip of her time to share her story. Man, I think back to when I first met Lisa, when I was still working at the bar. She came in and she could only walk with a cane. Like, to see this woman hobbling, and she was so young, to see her hobbling and trying to step up just like one step, like you could see her pain. You could feel it, like just in the way that she carried herself. And to see how far she's taken herself, like this whole 180-degree transformation. I saw she posted just last week that she washed her car by hand for the first time in, gosh, I don't even know how many years. Like, that's huge. I mean, 12 back surgeries in 12 years. Like, one surgery is scary. 12 of them? It just goes to show you that we are all capable of transcendence, of expansion, of becoming limitless and overcoming any struggle, any obstacle that is ever thrown at us. Period. So thank you again, Lisa, for sharing your story with us all. If her story resonated with you, feel free to reach out to her on Facebook and find her, follow her. I'll include a link so that you can get connected with her. She is a wonderful, beautiful, amazing soul whom I consider to be a very dear friend. Once again, my name is Xtina, the Well Traveled Woman. Thanks for watching.